How to finance your first investment property in 2025. Most people think you need 20% down to buy a rental property. They're wrong. And that misconception is costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars in wealth they could be building right now. I'm breaking down exactly how to finance your first investment property in 2025. And by the end of this video, you'll know 3 legitimate strategies that banks don't advertise and most real estate agents won't tell you about. Let's go. The reality check. Here's what the internet won't tell you. The 20% down payment rule is outdated. In 2025, it's completely possible to buy your first investment property with as little as 3 to 5% down. But before we get into the how, you need to understand what you're actually doing. When you buy a rental property, you're not just buying a house. You're buying a monthly cash flow machine. Tax deductions and leverage. That's the magic word. Leverage. You're using other people's money, the bank's money, to multiply your returns. A guy named Mark in Ohio bought his first rental property 3 years ago with 5% down on a $200,000 duplex. That's 10 grand out of pocket. Today that property cash flows $800 a month and he's built $40,000 in equity from appreciation alone. His money is working harder than he ever could. That's the game we're playing. Strategy 1. The FHA investment hack. Most people think FHA loans are just for first-time homebuyers. That's incomplete information. Here's what actually works. You can use an FHA loan with 3.5% down on a multifamily property, a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, as long as you live in one unit. This is the fastest way to get into real estate in 2025. Let's do real numbers. You find a $300,000 triplex. 3.5% down is $10,500. You live in Unit 1. Rent out Units 2 and 3 for $1,200 each. That's $2,400 a month in income. Your mortgage is maybe $1,600. Insurance and taxes another $400. You're making about $400 a month while you live there for basically free. After 2 years, you can refinance to a conventional loan, move into another property, and keep this one for cash flow. Your only out-of-pocket cost was $10,500 plus closing costs. Probably $15,000 total. That's a realistic down payment for someone with actual income and an okay credit score. Strategy 2. The portfolio loan play. This one's for people who already have some money working. Portfolio lenders are banks that hold loans on their own books instead of selling them to big institutions. They have flexibility. A lot of them will go down to 10% down on investment properties if you have liquid assets. Basically money sitting in the bank. Here's the catch most people miss. They're looking at your reserves. If you have $50,000 sitting in savings or invested in the S&P 500 through Fidelity or Robinhood, you've just made yourself attractive to a portfolio lender. Even if you don't touch that money, even if it's locked in a Roth IRA, they see you have skin in the game. So you put 10% down on a $250,000 property. That's $25,000. Your cash reserves are still there as a safety net. You get approved faster. You keep your money liquid. And you're building a rental that generates income immediately. Strategy 3. The partnership structure. This is unconventional, but it's working for people in 2025. You partner with someone who has capital but no time. Maybe someone with $50,000 invested in their 401k who wants diversification. You bring the knowledge, the time, and the management skills. You buy the property together. They put down 15%. You put down 3%. The property is titled in both your names or through an LLC. You split the cash flow 50-50, but you handle everything. The renovations, the tenants, the maintenance, Over time, you buy them out using the property's equity. You end up owning the whole thing on a small initial investment. This requires trust and a solid partnership agreement. But it works. I know 3 people doing this right now in Texas and Florida. What banks actually want? Forget your credit score for 1 second. Banks want 3 things: income stability, reserves, and a down payment. If you have steady W-2 income, $10,000 to $20,000 in the bank, and you're putting anything down, you're getting approved in 2025. The market's shifted. They want deals. Your next move. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Perfect circumstances don't exist. Pick one strategy today. Run the numbers. Call 3 lenders. Make an offer. The difference between the person who buys their first investment property and the person who doesn't isn't knowledge. It's action. If this helped you understand real estate financing, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I'm dropping a complete walkthrough of finding off-market deals next week. And you don't want to miss it. Build wealth. Build now.